I do too. What's the next replay that, is there another replay that's fun? I
I don't
think one,
know.
two, three was up there. I don't know if that was an actual game or not.
Uh, I
I
don't
guess
know. Just
I
host
guess let's
something.
try loading that and
I'll talk while you
yeah,
figure out
we'll see what
something to
it is.
host. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I was going to talk about G5 because, like you mentioned, he was just a really nice guy too. I was really impressed by how nice he was, and because he like it's funny. A lot of the players have like reputation for being like bad mannered online, and then like in real life they were like totally cool. So that was kind of interesting. I guess it is, true that when
Same
you
game, same pass, by the way. Still there?
it's a win-win situation. Yeah, but
There we
one
go.
of the things I wanted to mention about G5, I mean this is an example of how nice of a guy he is. I saw him give his spare change to a bum, not just once, but twice, two separate occasions. So
Yeah. I saw him, he was out of change and he gave a Listerine mint to a bum. I was like, sweet.
there you go. And I didn't even hang out with him a whole lot, so that was pretty cool of him. Let's see, Future versus
Yeah,
G5.
what I thought, maybe it's kind of the Northern California thing, but I don't know. I felt very, very comfortable around G5 the entire, just, he's just a really accepting, awesome guy, I
Yeah,
think.
he was just very laid back about everything, so he's just like, yeah, whatever. And even when there was like the
I think
controversy over his game with Nooney, which if you haven't heard about, like, um, he basically he was ahead.
he was way ahead.
He was way ahead.
He
He
was
was
98,
ahead. He,
99%. He would have won that game. I don't think he's a
mm,
bad enough player where you throw. If he had broken his finger on his keyboard, I think he might have lost that game. But
I don't know.
otherwise,
I agree he was very ahead, and everyone at the tournament agreed he was very ahead. But I don't think he was, you know, insurmountably overhead or ahead. Anyway, point being,
yeah, if he
the
had
computer.
completely botched a whole bunch of things, then he would have lost. But I don't see that happening with G5. Point being is he
Yeah,
should have won that. He would have won that game had things continued
especially since he
as
was
they were, just
really
no
on
interruption. Yeah.
top of his game that tournament. He was just ridiculously playing well. But yeah, Nooney's computer had been unplugged somehow because they were all playing on laptops with external monitors and keyboards, and somehow Nooney's computer had been unplugged, and it dropped. His computer shut off in the middle of the game and dropped him, and so the refs actually went back and looked at the replays, and I'm pretty sure that the people what people were saying swayed him because at first they were just gonna like you know restart the game, but everyone there was like, dude, ref, G5 won that game. G5 won that game. A
Yeah.
couple people were kind of saying, well, I don't know, but and
Two expansions up, a bunch of gateways up, 20 supply up. Everyone was kind of saying yes and trying to kind of press
he
that.
was
I
only
was
one
actually
expansion
very.
up, one and a half. He had
There's
one
only
going
one
up, but that
expansion up.
doesn't count.
Nevertheless, I was actually very impressed by the staff that they actually took the input of the players right there, and also the input of Nooney and G5 right there in that decision. I think that could have been a lot worse a decision, but as a result, I don't know. I feel like they made the right choice.
Anyway, so they gave the game to G5. They just called it for him, and uh, what was I getting at? Oh yeah, even during that whole situation, even when he thought they might like take away the game that he was winning, he was like, dude, I won that game, but at the same time, he was like, all right, well, F it. So yeah, he
I
was
think
pretty
that's a
cool.
big advantage for him, like across the board, because a lot of the other players were nervous and tense and stuff like that. G5 was just like, I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna focus, I'm gonna relax, and he would come in just completely loose.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
and
think that's
that's
why he tends to be a very, very good tournament player, and I think that factors into it because he's really good at relaxing,
yeah, I think that's
like
why
bringing his nerves down.
he and Louder got so far in the tournament is because they were just way more relaxed than anyone else, and so like they they didn't feel the pressure, and they even said that in their interviews, like they didn't feel the pressure, and so they're just like, oh, whatever. Oh, we should have done that replay with Future versus Idra. That would have been a fun one to do because in that one, freaking, it was the weirdest thing. This bug happened where um, Future went after Idra's base pretty early with some zealots, and he took out one of the assimilators at Idra's base, and when the assimilator died, two of the zealots got stuck in the gas mine. I've never seen that before, but the two zealots got actually stuck in the gas mine, and he could not get them out. And later on, Idra just walked up with some marines and just picked them off because they were stuck inside the gas mine. It was the weirdest thing. And we're like, dang it, like, not only are you playing Idra, but you have to deal with this. It's like, it's
I
like,
missed
oh
that game
man.
actually.
Yeah, I was watching over Future's shoulder, and I looked at it. I was like, "What the frick?" And me and who else was it? I think I was watching with Xeris or something like that, and we're both like, "I have never seen that happen before." Um, I don't think it was Xeris. Maybe it was Louder. Anyway, Xeris was cool too. I kind of met
Yeah,
him once before, but I hadn't I
I've had
hadn't
a lot of contact with Zirus, so
I hadn't really talked to him at the MSL
I
party,
already knew
so
that.
I didn't know what he was like really. But he was cool too. Um, Future, by the way, Psionic Reaver put up a bunch of videos from the whole convention on his account, so you can go check that out. But one of the videos you can watch is Future setting a new record in the Warcraft treadmill game. They had a treadmill set up to activate against a bike wheel, which would hit the button on the keyboard to make a World of Warcraft player move on the map, and you had to run to try and get to the end by a certain amount of time or whatever. And Future owned it. Um, so did Psionic Reaver. He owned it first, but then they cut down after someone vomited after running so far. They cut the course down, and so Psionic Reaver retained the record for the longer distance, and then they cut the shorter distance down, and Future owned the shorter distance. So it was kind of fun. Anyway, but yeah, like I said,
Kind of.
there was a few of the guys that like I didn't really get to talk to a lot, so I can't really talk about them too much. But in general, everyone was really cool, and even like I said, the people that are very famous online for being bad mannered were at the very least they were civil and would talk to you and stuff. So that was neat.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. We actually, a little side story, we went out to dinner after, I think it was Friday or Saturday night. Might have been Saturday night. Went to
Oh
California's
yeah,
Kitchen. And we actually, there were two tables. It was all the people, all the players who had just taken off all together. And then it was, I think Future was with us. It was Future Zeros,
yeah.
and the rest of the commentator group. And they put in their table. They had one more person, and we came in like half an hour, 20 minutes later, and put our name in.
It
And
was like
somehow we got
15
our
minutes,
table
20
first.
minutes. Yeah,
It was hilarious. I felt bad. I was going in the
we
door and I was like, I wanted to be like, no, we'll take our table and
we
whatever, but
got
I
there. Yeah, we got
couldn't
there
vouch
and
for
they're like
everybody, so.
complaining like, "OMG, we've been waiting here for like 15 minutes and blah blah blah, and we've been waiting for so long. You guys better get your name in quickly because it's taking a long time and blah blah blah." And then like we're like, "Okay," so we put our name in, and then we got the table first. And our hostess was pissed. He goes in there, he's like, "What the heck? We've been here for so long. Why did they get their table first?" And we went in and sat down, and I was ready to give it the table too, but I guess it was like they had a table for 8, but not for 10 or something like that. I don't know.
Or nine
So
or one, whatever the number was.
yeah, and so
I felt bad.
I felt bad too,
I
but
thought it was funny, but I felt bad at the same time.
yeah, but they got their table like literally. We sat down and they walked in past us, and we're like, we get in too. Hope you guys are having fun sitting there. And we're like, yeah, sorry. But so they got their table right afterwards, so it wasn't that bad. But
Yeah, it ended up working out okay. And afterwards they're like, oh, you guys are slow, not paying the bills and things
yeah,
like that. We had a good time.
yeah, they ended up leaving before us. So
I think we made some micro macro joke. I don't even remember what it was.
there were so many random StarCraft jokes going on during that whole weekend. That was one of the great parts. It's just being in such a situation where there's so many people around that get your stupid StarCraft jokes. So that was cool.
um,
Okay, this is kind of going to be completely random and weird, but I'm actually recording this like a week after we actually recorded this game. I mean, what I'm saying right now. So just a second ago, there was kind of a pause, and I don't know if you noticed that the audio of the game cut out anyway. So just for a few minutes, because we randomly had some issues with the audio on this video, and instead of going back and like re-recording the whole thing, I'm just gonna ramble for the 4 missing minutes. And yeah, basically what you missed during the 4 minutes is me and Diggity were talking about Dino and how Zach said he was impressed that Dino was very hospitable, was the term he used, because he was we ended up hanging out in his room for a minute, and he's like, oh yeah, come on in, blah blah, and he was very very just very friendly basically to everyone, and very kind of generally laid back and everything, so that was pretty cool. And yeah, by the way, I'm recording this at 1 in the morning, so that's why my voice is a little bit quieter. Hopefully that's not too big of an issue, and hopefully it'll actually come out decent volume on YouTube. But yeah, Dino was pretty good, and Diggity was talking about how he thought Dino had a lot of potential, and if he kind of applied himself more, he could be pretty bad arse. And here we're pointing out that I think Future accidentally hit air weapons instead of Singularity, so that's why the Cybernetics Core upgrade is going on, going down at the bottom of the screen. Anyway, so let's see. I think I got like 2 more minutes of rambling to make up for here. Diggity was doing most of the rambling, so he was basically just talking about hanging out at Dino's room a little bit. Oh yeah, you're probably going to hear at the end of this video that I didn't really get a chance. I think at the end of this video I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk about Noonie. I think I forgot to mention Noonie in the rest of this video, in the previous part of it, so anyway, yeah. So point being, Noonie's pretty cool. I didn't get to talk to him a whole lot, but very friendly guy and very, very cool, and very driven. I mean, you could tell that he's totally committed and totally wants to be a pro gamer, and he's willing to do, whatever's, pretty much whatever's necessary. And so I mean, that's hardcore. I think he really deserves it. And oh, actually, I guess I remember I just I just read online that if this had been, you wouldn't know this. This wouldn't be information that you would have gotten if the audio hadn't screwed up. Although I probably would have mentioned it eventually. But Noonie actually has been chosen to go to Korea. He's going to be part of Istro. So, props to him because he won the Spirit tournament, and he ended up talking to, I think, the coach of Istro, maybe Daniel Lee or something like that, and they invited him to Korea. So, right on, man. That is so cool because I don't think anyone, I couldn't think of anyone better to go because he just wanted it so badly, and like is so dedicated and just like a really good guy too. He has a good personality for it and everything. Um, very good mannered and all that sort of thing. So I think he's going to represent us foreigners very well when he goes over there. Let's see. I guess I got about 30 more seconds to make up. Okay, I got to think of something to say that won't take more than like maybe it's a minute. It won't take that long, but it'll fill it up. I can't think of anything else. I didn't get a chance to really thoroughly. I don't remember if I even mentioned this in the other parts of the video, but I didn't really get a chance to thoroughly talk to all the gamers there. Like I barely talked to Idra at all. Like I said, like I think I introduced myself to him, and that's all I really got a chance to say to him because whenever I saw him, he was like playing or off somewhere. I didn't talk to him. Anyway, well, I guess it's time to get back to the regular audio that we recorded like a week ago, and then get this actually put together and put on YouTube. So back to normal audio. This is actually a pretty good game. I haven't seen this game yet.
Yeah, I had to say.
I think I'm gonna have
I
to go
actually
back
watched
and.
this over their shoulders, so
Oh, okay, nice.
this is one of the games I actually got to watch. So
Yeah, that was
it's hard to
basically
watch it.
the funnest part about the weekend was, like, since that was one of the good things about not having to do any much commentating on the stage is we just got to like hang out at the tournament booth and just like watch games over people's shoulder the entire weekend. That was fun. Got to see like Artosis with his mad hands, just absolutely like. I mean, a lot of players spam, and maybe it was just because of Artosis' style, but it looked like he was, really really fast, and he is really really fast. But I mean, like I think Noni is just as fast, but it didn't seem like it as much because he kind of moved his hands a little bit less obviously and that sort of thing. So
Yeah. Louder's most multitasking throughout, at least on Saturday, was insane. It was so fun to watch. He was just he really was playing like mad. Like I've seen a lot of guys multitask really really well before, but I've never seen them do it throughout the entire game like that.
hmm
Um, and it was just really, I think that's part of what kept him in a lot of those games and helped him get third place. Honestly, I think if he had played the way he was playing Saturday, I think I'm not going to say it was definitive that he would have upset G5, but I definitely think it was a strong possibility that he would have upset G5
I don't
had
know.
had he been playing like he was playing on Saturday. G5 was just playing so strong though, so that's kind of an empty statement. Again, G5 did end up winning, and he was the favorite, I think. Um, but and he is, I think he's pretty strong percentage a favorite, but right now actually going to end up winning this game against Future. It looks like with the Dragoon attacks there, but
Reavers for the win.
that was an awesome attack. Yeah, seriously. Now 122, just after that attack, 122 supply to 55. But G5, yeah, he's hard to beat. But still, I feel like Louder could have, at the very least, I felt like the final stage games weren't as competitive as they could have been, because I didn't feel like Louder was playing as well as he was on Saturday. Let me put it that way.
Well, yeah, yeah, okay, fair enough. I don't know. G5 was just playing ridiculously well that whole. Although I mean, yeah, G5 and Louder were the only two people the entire tournament to take a game off of Nooney. No one took a series, but they were the only two people to take a game off of Nooney, and I mean, that's an impressive accomplishment. But G5 was just all over it. I mean, he was just playing really, really, really well, and the entire tournament. Also, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the entire tournament, the only player in the tournament to beat G5 was Nooney. Isn't that right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
I am almost
I
positive.
mean, that's how on top of things he was.
So pretty solid 1-2.
Yeah.
I,
It's too bad we
I know
couldn't
that
send
Louder.
G5 to
This is the other
Germany.
thing though. Is Yeah, definitely. This is the other thing though, is I know Louder said that he wanted to beat, one of his goals there was to beat G5, because G5 had said that, oh,
Was
Louder's
it?
someone you can look over. Yeah, that
Oh.
was one of his goals. He wanted to beat G5 just because G5 had said, this is a player you can look over, and he also had some other goals in mind. Um, but at the same time, I think even though he didn't take second place, even though he didn't beat G5, I think he did prove what he wanted to prove, that he's not a player that you can look over.
Yeah.
That he did belong at WCG, and he really did make a statement there that he is just a really high quality player.
One of
So
his
I don't know.
other,
I thought it was win-win across the board.
yeah, one of his
And I know
other
they had a little bit of there's kind of questionable beefs, and I feel like they were really cool to each other, and I think they settled all of that.
one of the other
Just
things that
in
he
person, or
said
like, let's leave it online.
was one of his goals is he wanted to take a game off of Idra. That was one of his
Yeah,
personal goals, and he didn't take a game off of Idra, but he actually took a series off of Artosis using the same builds that he had prepared for Idra, so it paid off after all.
yeah. So honestly, even though he didn't take second place, I still think he accomplished a lot of the goals he had intended to.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. So good stuff all around. All right, well, since
Trying to
this game
think
is
of anything.
finished, this is anything else. I'll probably end up throwing in more
Trying to think of
stories
anything else.
about WCG and commentaries as I think of them, or especially if I do any. I mean, I'm going to do all the. Me and Diggity and Psionic Reaver are going to be doing all of the games of the tournament offline and uploading them too. And so they'll get put on WCGLive.com eventually. So, obviously we'll talk more about the players and how they've been doing and their styles and everything in those games. So,
Yeah. Trying to think of anything else I really want to say, because I know there's like a billion stories out there in my head. I guess the other one was just like, no, that's it. I was trying to think. There was something maybe on the night where we were all just kind of partying and having fun. It's
yeah,
really fun to watch
let's
Future
not
play.
let's not talk
Yeah,
about
I
what
agree.
people are doing while they're drunk because let's leave that kind of stuff out of it. Just in general, yeah, just to kind of conclude. generally a fun weekend. It was good to see everybody. Unfortunately, I'm flipping broke, so I can't go to BlizzCon because that's going to be just as fun. There's going to be a ton of people there, but anyway.
I'm
You're
gonna
going
go
to
Saturday
BlizzCon,
if I
right?
don't get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm. I feel like I'm fighting something off though, just 'cause lack of rest, like doing this at midnight plus.
Fight it off for
And also
ire!
yeah, also entertaining guests. And there's like a lot of, I don't know, I just feel really stressed out with a lot of the stuff that's going on right now. A lot of stuff, a lot of replays to do that I feel like, I don't know, I know it's kind of fun stuff to do at the same time, so I'm going to enjoy doing them. But it's kind of like, I know there's that pile of work there that I want to, I'll feel much better about it once it's done, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Which is, it's weird, yeah. And then Pro League is up, and I'm like, oh god, Pro League's there too, and OSL, MSL, and
I'm glad Pro League's
yeah,
back up,
BlizzCon this
man, because
weekend.
there was like no games to watch in my spare time, and now like I'm like, oh
It's
man,
like
what am I gonna
ridiculous
watch
amounts.
while I'm eating dinner? And it's like now there's like a ton of Pro League games. They're freaking ridiculous amount of games out right now. But anyway,
Yeah, and we're going to
um,
be doing this, so there's going to be a ton of commentary out in the
yeah.
very near future.
And by the way, I'm trying to get some of the guys uh, from WCG US and to do some dual commentaries with me. So keep an eye out for that kind of stuff too. But
Yeah.
yeah, unless there's anything else, in general, I hope
Um,
no.
oh, I guess I'm doing the anything else. All the players, yeah, awesome. I want to reiterate that. I think the only two guys that really didn't get to talk to that much, I got to talk to In Control briefly, just kind of about esports in general, and that was a nice conversation. I got to talk to Nooney in depth, which was awesome. Um, and then Idra, yeah, I just didn't get to talk to Idra a lot,
Oh
just
yeah, I
because,
never
yeah,
went
he
back and
was
talked
kind
about
of with
Nooney.
his
Nooney
manager.
was really cool too. He was
Sorry,
really
Idra.
cool.
But yeah, I got to basically hang out one-on-one with almost all of the players there, and they are all awesome people, I have to say. So, and I'm gonna scan in a picture and I'll post that up too. The one, so the Artistas interview, the one that was the best one. Of
Hmm.
course, I ended up accidentally deleting it. Can you believe that?
What?
It was the best. Yeah, I accidentally deleted it.
What the? Why would he do that?
It wasn't intentional. And he didn't have it on his laptop. It was the best one, but I still have the evidence of that interview, which still is incredible, and I'll try to link that to you guys in the near future. It was so awesome. I think that some
Uh,
people I caught Dino's interview. I don't know that it was that good because I think I caught him off guard. Um, and yeah, he was definitely he mentioned actually afterwards that he was nervous in that interview. I was nervous during the Artosis interview. I felt just because I was so hyped up for it. I just had a lot of energy that was exploding all at once.
anyway, I hope
Anywho,
I had this kind of random idea to show that game and do a retrospective of the World Celebrity Games US tournament. And hopefully, it's been a little bit interesting, even though it's just been kind of a long time. Actually, it's been like 40 45 minutes of rambling. So hopefully, it's been enjoyable, and I guess it has been if you've managed to get this far. Otherwise, you probably closed the video long ago. So thanks for listening, and uh, yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope to see everyone next year.